Well, real drama at the end of this race because Ken Smith has broken an input shaft in the gearbox and they're backing against time now.
Yeah, right on the line.
So that'll be fixed, obviously, and the boys will...
Well, yeah, it's a bit of work to get it finished in time, but they will get there.
Well, the troubles for Ken Smith, does that change the strategy for Jay Esterer?
Just block them in the slow bits.
Well, that is the strategy from the Canadian. You can see for yourself if you have a look as the safety car pulls off. There is no Ken Smith out there. They couldn't get the input shaft replaced in time. So no three-time MSC Formula 5000 Tasman Cup Revival Series champion Kenny Smith to face the start line for the Lady Wigram Trophy. If he was to have won this trophy, he would have made history. He's the only man to have won 4 times. This would have been number 5. Not to be now as Esterer starts to pull away from Steve Ross. Once again, a good start from Roger Williams out of Auckland in the Lola T332, and behind him, Tony Richards, also in the same car. But it's Esterer into the hairpin for the first of 15 laps here to decide the 2012 New Zealand Express Lady Wigram Trophy. First competed for back in 1949. Maury Proctor was the winner then. They had to pass an Act of Parliament to allow the Defence Forces to let the public use the Wigram Airbase, which they did to resounding success. Every famous driver virtually in history has raced or won the Lady Wigram Trophy, including Sir Jack Brabham, Sir Jackie Stewart, the late Bruce McLaren, and of course Ken Smith 4 times. Craig Baird has also been a multiple winner of the Lady Wigram Trophy. Can the Canadian put his name on the trophy this time around? In and out of the sweeper they come, and down the long front straight here at Powerbolt Tools International Raceway. Esterer leads it, Ross is second, Williams is third, Richards is fourth. Looks like Sefton Gibb has made his way up into 5th place, and he's being chased hard by Ian Clements by the look of it. Christchurch local, past champion of the Formula 5000 Revival Series. So there is Roger Williams, a man that's been around the 5000 series for a long time. He owned a McRae GM1. He now races the ex-Danny Ongaias T332 Lola. There is Tony Richards in behind him, now considered one of the veterans of the class. Sefton Gibb out of Napier. This is Steve Ross. Well, he threw away a chance of big points in the second heat race. Remember, this is the first round of 6 for the MSC New Zealand Formula 5000 Tasman Cup Revival Series. From here, we'll go to Manfield. Battles within battles here, mate on mate. 30 is Ian Clements up the inside of the number 88 car of Sefton Gibb. Going with him, it's Andrew Higgins. Higgins, another one that spun in race number 1 for Sunday's proceedings. Jay Esterer winning the first race on Saturday, winning the first heat race here on Sunday, and now in the front of the Lady Wigram Trophy. So we're around about 1/4 distance as we watch this enthralling Lola battle, and that is Ian Clements. Oh, and I think he's taken evasive action here. He's just run wide out of turn 1, and that's the reason why. That's Roger Williams faced the wrong way. So it's a battle of the Lolas. Williams trying to get his car restarted. Clements trying to regain the racetrack as well. So you get the feeling that maybe Ian Clements just overreacted to the spun car there of Roger Williams. It's cost him big time. Williams comes back onto the racetrack. Interesting character is Roger Williams. He collects a few very interesting race cars as well as the Lola. He runs a Chevy-powered mid-engine Mercedes car. But he loves it, Formula 5000. He's raced it all around the world, in England, in the United States of America, and in Australia, as have a lot of these competitors here at Christchurch today. Esterer already starting to edge away from Steve Ross. Ross from Dunedin in 2nd place. It's Tony Richards now in 3rd. So it's McRae GM1 Lola, and then another Lola. This is a T400. This is Andrew Higgins. In behind him would be Sefton Gibb. Then we go back to Aaron Burson. And that would be Brent Willis in behind him as well. And then a fast recovering. In fact, that's number 14. That's Russell Greer. That's the ex-Singapore Airlines livery Graham Lawrence championship winning car from the 70s. The Formula 5000's made a huge impact in New Zealand motor racing. They started back in the 1970s and they lasted up until 1976, and then for better or worse, New Zealand decided to go the route of the Formula Atlantic cars that became named as Formula Pacific cars here in New Zealand. But a lot of people say that they should never have gone away from the 5000s. and they certainly entertain the big crowds wherever they go. So this battle further down through the field, Sefton Gibb out of Napier. Before he drove this Lola T332, he hadn't done too much motor racing. He told me he had a very quick Cobra replica, and he'd done a little bit of tin top saloon car racing, but then he made the quantum leap to the 5000. Been a front runner in the series. Right in behind him is Aaron Burson. Well, they say the family that plays together stays together, because Aaron's dad, Peter, has a McRae GM1, similar to the one you see on your screen here. This is the race leader, Jay Esterer. He's never won the Lady Wigram Trophy, but come back after the break and see if he can do it here in 2012. Welcome back to Powerball Tools International Raceway. Jay Esterer, the race leader, as we get to half distance in the Lady Wigram Trophy for 2012. New Zealand Express bring it to you as they work their way in and out of the hairpin. Steve Ross just starting to close up the gap a little bit here, but it's the two New Zealand design cars out in the front. Esterer in the McRae GM1, a car that Graham McRae actually drove. He raced this car in the United States of America in the 72-73 season. This is another McRae GM1. This is Aaron Burson, right in behind him, 88 Sefton Gibb. The McRae of Burson is ex-Quicksilver racing car. Jay Esterer owns two of these cars, so he's a very lucky man, and a McLaren Can-Am car. Races all of his cars regularly. So it's New Zealand-built cars holding sway here. 23, Tony Richards, in the Lola T332. Powered by a small block Chev engine, mechanical fuel injection, clutch and gearbox, none of this paddle shifter stuff of the modern day cars. This is Andrew Higgins, and he's really taken to the 5000s like a duck to water. He's raced in Formula Fords and Formula Holdens. He comes under the mentorship of Ken Smith. And if you're wondering where Ken Smith is, well, unfortunately, a mechanical DNF. He broke an input shaft at the end of the first heat race here on Sunday morning and couldn't make the start for the Lady Wigram Trophy. Had he made the start and had he won the race, he would have made history as being the only five-time winner of this very prestigious motor racing trophy. Leaders starting to get into the lap traffic here as they work their way around David Banks and I think David Arrowsmith. Oh, and Esterer gets a little bit desperate as he takes to the grass as they head up into the big sweeper at the top end of the circuit here, and it's too much for Banks. He takes a very wide line. Watch the speed difference as both Esterer and Steve Ross go past David Arrowsmith and David Banks. Banks in the Talon, Arrowsmith in the Lotus, the only Lotus in the field. Arrowsmith, a big contributor to motor racing in the Christchurch area through his Iswa heating company. Another ex-Formula Fordster. Number 78 there, that's David Banks in the Talon. And that's Arrowsmith in behind him as we go back to the front runners. And unless my eyes deceive me, I think Steve Ross is starting to shut down Jay Esterer here. Maybe they're getting into tyre trouble, these big horsepower monsters. They run on Avon tyres. 600 odd horsepower at the rear wheels for these relics of the 70s. Gee, they make the right noise and they go just as fast as any modern day car, probably hitting around about 175, 180 miles an hour on the long front straight here at Powerball Tools International Raceway. There is Peter Burson, hand up, so he's going into the pits as Tony Richards goes past him. So that's bad luck for the Burson family. Another one of these families that are a bit of motor racing collectors. Peter has a Formula One, a BRM Formula One car. He owns two GM1s, one for himself and one for his son. And I think he's in the process of buying yet another Formula One car. Runs a very successful transport and trailer business up in Auckland. This man's a long way from Auckland. This is Jay Esterer from Edmonton in Canada. He's just got the one lap to go now, and he is going to etch his name on one of New Zealand's most famous motor racing trophies. That is the Lady Wigram Trophy, first competed for back in 1949, and now 63 years later, I think the first Canadian to win the title if he can hold out Steve Ross. There's number 78 once again, Dave Banks in the Talon MR1 as we go back to the race leader, working the Christchurch Casino Carousel for the last time. Very technical circuit. You don't get too much rest at Powerbolt Tools International Raceway here at Ruapuna. And we're happy to say that it has remained virtually unscathed from all the ground-shaking activity that has absolutely plagued Christchurch for the last year. Estera working his way down the short chute, just the big sweeper at the top end of the circuit to go, and history will be made here in Christchurch. Steve Ross has got no answer, and it's going to be Canada's Jay Estera coming down the front straight to see the checkered flag first and win the 2011-2012 series Lady Wigram Trophy, brought to you by New Zealand Express. It's the Canadian first, it's the Kiwi Steve Ross through in second place, and the flag marshals acknowledging the skills and the panache of the drivers. Jay Estera waving to the big crowd here in Christchurch. He wins it, first time in 3 attempts that he has taken the title here in the MSC Formula 5000 Tasman Cup Revival Series. Round 1 of 6. From here we go to Manfield, and this guy will be pretty happy with his weekend's work in Christchurch. So officially we see that it is the Canadian Jay Estera taking the win from Steve Ross of New Zealand, Tony Richards in 3rd place, Andrew Higgins in 4th, then it's Aaron Burson, Brett Willis and Russell Greer.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Steve kept me honest. Steve Ross and the other McRae GM1 kept me honest. He put on some pressure at the end, and I was going pretty hard to stay in front of him.
Yeah, we were working hard, and hell, I had a spin in every other race, but this time we managed to keep it together, and we tried to bring it to him, but I think he had a wee bit left, I think.
So there is the Lady Wigram Trophy in front of the McRae GM1 of Jay Estera. Jay Estera on the top step of the podium. In 2nd place, Steve Ross, and in 3rd place, it is Tony Richards. MSC New Zealand Formula 5000 Tasman Cup Revival Series came to Manfield, and the bad luck that had dogged Ken Smith bit him again hard here at Manfield. Something broke in the transmission. He turned hard left into Jay Estera. The race was stopped, and it was 2 of the favourites out. Watching it from the onboard here of Gregory Thornton Chevron B24. It all happens so quickly when you're going this fast down the front straight of the rolling start here at Manfield. Ken Smith's Lola T332 and the McRae GM1 of Estera. 2 damage to continue. Smith with a broken foot, but the win would go to Steve Ross as he would increase his series points lead. So if we have a look at the series lead after 2 rounds, it is Steve Ross on top with 169, Aaron Burson in 2nd place on 151, and Blenheim's Russell Greer in 3rd on 138.